So I didn't want to get out of bed this morning. And I don't mean that in a poetic way. I mean, I just didn't want to get out of bed. And I know that I'm not the only one. There's a lot of men, a lot of leaders who watch this channel. And sometimes it can feel like the entire weight of the world is on your shoulders. The need to be perfect, the need to be the rock for everyone else. But sometimes we need to take a moment or a day of pure authenticity and acknowledge the fact that just because you're a leader, just because you're paving the way for other people, does not mean that you're always going to have it together. This need to always be on or to be perfect for the people that rely on you, it's killing a lot of men. So there's this myth of perfection. You can do all the inner work, you can do plant medicine, you can do all the retreats, you can read deep spiritual text, come face to face with your demons and shadows. But at the end of the day, you will never fully escape your humanity. And guess what? You're not supposed to. I remember when I started to go really deep into the path of spirituality, and I don't mean crystals and horoscopes and things like that. I mean the real shit. Going deep within yourself, facing your demons, facing your shadows, learning to love the grotesque parts of yourself that nobody wants to look at. Because ultimately, that's the only way that the light could ever shine through fully. I was all in on this inner work, and I had really transcendent moments. I had mystical experiences. I came face to face with the divine and the Godhead, if you will. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you aren't there, and that's okay. But when you come face to face with the divine and your own divinity, there comes a point where you have to step back fully into the messiness of your humanity. And even spirituality aside, when you take the full step into any kind of leadership, sometimes you're holding space so often for other people that we forget to hold space for ourselves, to retreat, to take some time and really check in with ourselves. Because yes, we grow into these adults with responsibilities, with a degree of clarity and intelligence and purpose, but there's always a little kid inside of you who needs to be checked in with, who needs to be seen, who needs to be held. So I'm learning on those days where I don't want to get out of bed, when maybe some sadness emerges, some grief that's still left over from the past, maybe some fear, maybe some anxiety. These things never fully go away. I know oftentimes we talk about spiritual awakening and enlightenment, and these things are beautiful, but they are not the means of which to escape your humanity. There never comes a point in your inner work where you graduate from just being a human, but you do get to a point where you stop pretending like you're supposed to. You're fully aware of your divinity. You know that you're of the spirit, if you will, that this physical reality, it's very finite. It's meant to be experienced, but it's like a vapor. It eventually fades. But even in the knowing of that, even if you come face to face with the highest reality imaginable, there's always this egoic homeostasis that you come back to. We all have an ego, and it's designed to make this reality feel like it's all there is. Even people who have done deep ayahuasca ceremonies or have had near-death experiences where they've spent time in some divine realm and they come back and they're like, oh my gosh, everything's so clear. Eventually, they're still gonna wake up and just feel like a human. They're gonna feel like shit. They're gonna have to contend with their own anger and their own pride and self-deceptions. We are not meant to escape this. We are meant to face it and bring our full attention to it. And when this happens, then the highest version of yourself begins to emerge while you're still in your humanity. And like I said before, I know that there are some high-level men, some leaders with a lot of responsibility who watch this channel. And so I just want to give you permission, brother, to let yourself be human, to take a day, take a week if you need to, and really go within and see yourself, see your humanity. See those parts of you that still feels a little bit lost, that feels like a lost little kid, and bring love and compassion to that part of yourself. Whether you're a father, whether you're a leader, whether you are a coach of some kind, it's easy to fall into this loop of always just holding space for other people. but there comes a time where you need to hold space for yourself, maybe find a coach or a mentor who can do that for you. There's this quiet pressure of, I can't fall apart. I need to have it all together. And while yes, you can remain strong for those who rely on you, you at least have to be authentic and real with yourself. Don't fool yourself into thinking that you have ultimate control. In a lot of ways, control is an illusion. When you look at nature and you see how it unfolds, the lilies of the field, the sparrows, somehow it all works together. All these little aspects of nature are taken care of. How much more important do you think you are with your awareness and your consciousness, the ability to feel, the ability to love, the ability to create? These are very precious parts of consciousness that reside within you. And there is an ultimate unfolding to your life. Even though you're leading other people, even though you're having to hold space for other people, you are not forgotten. And that same divine presence that takes care of things is also there for you. You just have to remember to go within, to tap into that divine aspect and ultimately surrender to it. And surrender oftentimes can seem like this weak behavior, but it's actually where your strength lies. When you are leading others from a place of surrender, your ability to guide them will be moved from an intelligence that's much higher than your ego. And this is something I have to remind myself of all the time. Every time I hop on a coaching call with a client or someone I'm working with, I try to get still beforehand. I meditate, I go within, and I find myself chanting things like, not my will, but thy will be done. Speak through me, help me get out of my own way. And that's another thing that we oftentimes forget, just the simple act of prayer, regardless of what religion you belong to or any religion. The divine intelligence is something that you can check in with. And prayer is this weird skewed thing because oftentimes people view prayer like the genie in the bottle, where it's like, please make this happen, please help me with this, but that's not really the correct way technically to prayer. Being in a state of prayer, like I said, it's a very surrendered state. Here I am. I acknowledge you. Let the unfolding happen through me. I've got these gifts. I've got this desire to give to other people. I surrender the will of my ego that thinks it knows everything, and I acknowledge the higher intelligence. Move through me. And then you get out of your own way. Now, if you're someone who isn't spiritual, let me just say that that is okay. I don't want you ever to take my word for anything, because true spirituality comes from direct experience. So I went through the whole cycle of being steeped in religion, and then I realized all the holes and flaws in it, and then I became an atheist. And then ultimately, I delved more into mysticism, and then I started having direct experiences through plant medicine ceremonies, through breathwork and meditation, through even studying thousands and thousands of near-death experiences. And once I realized that there truly was a higher aspect, and it wasn't me just blindly believing something, but having this direct experience, then it changed everything for me. My actual intelligence increased when I partnered with this higher power. My vocabulary got better, my clarity got better, the ability to speak without having to think about every single thing that I'm saying, and for the flow to just happen through me in a way that not only helped and healed me, but helped and healed others, that became unlocked within me. And that's how powerful true spirituality is. Again, it's not crystals and horoscopes and rainbows. A lot of times people use spirituality and it's almost like its own secret club. True spirituality is a deeply personal and sincere, earnest seeking where oftentimes people don't even know what you're doing. When you're in the privacy of your own home, you're exploring your self-deceptions, you're surrendering aspects that you thought were you, old beliefs, old paradigms. And on the other side of getting rid of all that stuff that isn't you lies the truth of who you really are. And then the way that you move and speak and act in this reality will be very different. And I won't go as far to say that I'm egoless or super enlightened, but I have brushed shoulders with glimpses of enlightenment and glimpses of egolessness. And once you get a taste of that, brother, it becomes the most important thing to you. Above money, success, any kind of outer trappings, those things can still actually be enjoyed and oftentimes appreciated more because you're savoring the beauty of this reality and everything that comes along with it without being so attached to it. So if you're watching this and you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you're in some kind of leadership position, father or coach, whatever it might be. I want to give you a few practices that you can implement right now. The first one, very simple. We can just call it the pause practice. You take a moment, you take a deep breath, you check in with yourself. See where the tension lies in your body. Is it in your gut? Is it in your chest? Put your hand wherever that spot is and focus on it. Breathe deeply into it. Slow down for a few minutes. Take in the room. Be present with yourself. And this little check-in can sometimes take 60 seconds. It's not something that you have to make a huge deal out of, but even those moments of interrupting the sympathetic nervous system, just constantly going and going, just, all right, buddy, how we doing? Sometimes that's all it takes. The second practice is, in those moments, consciously partner with the divine. And again, we can call that prayer if you want to, but not an asking or a begging for something, but just a surrendering. Move through me. Speak through me. Love through me. Allow me to give the gift that I'm meant to give right now. I surrender. Breathe. Feel everything. And from that energy of surrender, you might find that your performance in whatever endeavor you happen to be in will be significantly improved. Again, so counterintuitive. We rely so heavily on the mind, but it's a terrible master, but it's your servant. So learning how to calm this mind, check in with ourselves, and use this mind as a tool, but not be a slave to it. Because this mind never stops. It's constantly ruminating. Thoughts come out of nowhere. You don't have to identify with these thoughts. Just pick and choose the ones that are actually useful for you and discard the rest. And the third practice we could just call radical permission, which I guess is kind of a fancy name for surrender. Acknowledging where you are right now and just fully accepting it. Giving yourself permission to be where you are. Because most of the time you'll find that there is nowhere to go until you've surrendered to where you're at right here and now. Don't resist it. Even if it's kind of a painful season that you're in, just acknowledge it. Be like, wow, this is where we are right now. This is painful. This too shall pass. But in the meantime, I'm fully here for this season. I'll feel it all. You can feel the pain without making it your whole identity. And then what you will find is it will pass, just like the weather. But don't run from it. Don't avoid it. Just be with it. And funny enough, this is where your power comes from. Power does not come in forcing or resisting. It comes from surrender. So you don't need to be perfect to be powerful. You just need to be real. And I know that you're probably watching this. If any of these words are impacting you, it's because I am speaking from a very real place. Nothing about this video is scripted. I just kind of sat in meditation, turned on the camera, and I'm speaking directly to you from that higher place, from a place of love, and hopefully from a place of truth. This is me trying to get out of my own way while I speak to you. Because brother, I've got an ego. It's dense just like everyone else, but I can tell when the energy is different. When I am truly able to get out of my own way and allow something higher, something more intelligent than me, something more loving to speak through me. So I hope that you feel that right now. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, and you found this video at the perfect time. So one final thing I want to mention, if this video resonates with you, then I want you to go down the rabbit hole of my channel. There's tons of videos on there. They're all free. And I truly believe that there's more than enough in these videos to really help you do some deep inner work. And if you show up, if you take these things to heart, then you will see changes within yourself. Parts of you that you can let go of will start to dissolve. And what you will be left with is the true essence of who you are. I also want to mention, if you are at a place where you are financially stable, maybe you've got all these outer trappings, but you're lacking right now in purpose or inner peace or clarity, then I want to mention that I do offer coaching and mentorship. I tend to work with a lot of entrepreneurs. We go very deep. It is hand-holding in a sense, where I take you through all of the layers within yourself. It's a 3-month process. If that's something that you're interested in, then click the link in the description. You can apply, and we can potentially hop on a alignment call and see if it's a good fit. And if it is, then we'll work together one-on-one. It's not group coaching. It's very one-on-one, which is why it's not cheap, because I only have so many slots available at any given moment. But if you feel called to this kind of work and you want my direct assistance, then click the link in the description, fill out the application. Also, if any dots were connected or any breakthroughs happened during this video, leave it in the comments and share it with someone that you think would benefit from this message. That's all I got for you. You are loved, you matter, and you've barely scratched the surface of what you're capable of. I'll talk to you soon.